let's take a look at tonight's Tale of the Tape, brought to you by Credible. I didn't mean to do that. Michael Coffey's 35. Again, he only started boxing at the age of 30. Johnny Rice is 34. Both are big men, 6'5", about 270. Slight reach advantage for Michael Coffey. Rice is the more experienced pro, but Coffey, again, is a quick learner. He's made incredible progress late to the sport, now on an accelerated schedule, and gets his first main event. Johnny Rice getting ready to go, and we're here in Newark, New Jersey, and it's time for the main event here on Fox.
All right.
When you step in that ring, you got to really want it. It's an opportunity of a lifetime for him.
From Los Angeles, Johnny Ryan.
This is the fight that I want to see right here. Oh, he's hurt. He's hurt.
It's a slugfest.
What a punch. He means business.
Johnny Rice coming in. Lennox Lewis, no robe. I mean, Tyson even came out with a towel. And Johnny Rice, no robe. I mean, it's a nice warm summer day in New Jersey, but no robe for Johnny Rice. You know, Rice has fought prospects before. I mentioned F.A. Ajagba, Dempsey McKinney lost both of those fights, but he did not perform poorly in those fights. He was in there, he was involved, and Lennox, he said that, hey, there's something in me that I held back a bit against the higher level of opposition. I'm tired of losing these big fights. I'm not going to hold back, sink or swim tonight.
Yeah, I think that's great. I mean, you know, have that in his mind, because you learn from other fights, and he's learned from his fights. So this is what disappointed him when he watched himself fight. So now he wants to prove it to himself that he can get started a lot quicker.
Big man, again, a little more experienced than Michael Coffey, who's very late to the game. Rice 13, 6, and 1. Again, a full 6'5". He's 34 years old. He gets a big opportunity tonight in going up and getting in the main event here on national television. Time now for Michael Coffey. Served 8 years with the Marines. He's 34 years old. He is on the rise.
He'll turn right-handed, left-handed. He's slicker than you might think.
He's just busting up Luis Pena with everything. Big exchange, and Pena's hurt. Oh, and another hook. That's enough. It's over. Good body shot there by Coffey. Whoa! Oh, big hook! And down goes Rock.
There's another.
Oh, and that hook puts him down again. And there is an impressive knockout from Michael Coffey. This has been a meteoric rise for Michael Coffey. Only a year ago made his TV debut. This is the first time that he's fought on Fox or FS1 on national TV in front of fans. So he is all pandemic through all of these fights, but he's made such startling progress that he earns his way into a main event. Again, he was supposed to fight Gerald Washington, who is a heavyweight gatekeeper. Instead, he's more of the main name in the main event. But I think people, Joe Goosen, are going to be very pleased with what they see with Michael Coffey in the ring.
This is his biggest ring walk, by the way. Okay? and let me tell you something. He's soaking it all in. But, you know, I really, you know, when I encourage my fighters when they walk into the ring not to, you know, look around in the crowd, pay attention to people, just focus on where you're going. But he's a focused man, so I'm really not worried about that. But this is a big night for Michael Coffey, and this is one that could propel him to the very next level, which is a good spot to be.
An extremely disciplined fighter. Again, coming out of the Marines, his ability to compartmentalize is incredible. It has really fueled his rise. He is 12-0 now. He is 35, but a rising heavyweight star. Here's Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Prudential Center here in Newark, New Jersey, Premier Boxing Champions presents the featured bout of the evening, brought to you by TGB Promotions in association with King's Promotions and sponsored by Geico. Whether you rent or own, Geico makes it easy to bundle home and car insurance. Go to geico.com today. Introducing our three judges, once again scoring from ringside, James Kinney, John McKay, and John Signorelli. All right, fans, here we go. 10 rounds of boxing scheduled in our heavyweight special attraction. And now, ladies and gentlemen in attendance and boxing fans joining us around the world, live from Newark, New Jersey, it's time for the main event of the evening. Introducing you first on my left, fighting out of the red corner, hailing from Columbia, South Carolina, he enters the ring wearing white trunks with blue and red trim. He weighed in at 268 1/2 pounds with a record of 13 wins, 6 losses, and 1 draw. He has 9 wins coming by way of knockout. Introducing Johnny Raiss. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner in our 10-round main event, wearing black trunks with silver trim, fighting out of and representing Brooklyn, New York. He weighed in at 271 1/4 pounds. He is undefeated in his campaign in the ring with a record of 12 wins, no losses, 9 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the former U.S. Marine and the undefeated world rank contender, introducing Michael P.A.N. Coffee. Once again, our referee in charge now to give instructions, Eric Dolly.
Okay, gentlemen, you already know the rules. I want to remind you to keep it clean, protect yourself at all times, obey my commands at all times. Touch gloves. Good luck to both of you.
Well, double duty Dolly. He had the last fight, and he's got the next one. Hey, tonight's odds are provided by Fox Bet. If you place $100 on the favorite, that's Michael Coffey, you'd win $5 with a payout of $105. So he's a big favorite here. $100 on the underdog, Johnny Raiss, you'd win $750, the payout of $850. So Johnny Raiss with a big opportunity. Bones Adams, former world champion, is in his corner. Michael Coffey, PAN, by the way, stands for Punish All Negativity. He is a thinking man there in the ring, and we're underway in round number 1. Coffey in the black trunks says he wants to jab a lot more in this fight, Lennox. He is nimble. He'll go from orthodox to lefty, but he is a man who learns on the job.
Oh, absolutely, and that's what he's doing right now, especially the first round. He loves to take care of his guy by, you know, figuring him out, let his guy throw a little bit more punches so he could see what he's doing.
And if you saw the fight with Johnny Raiss against Efe Ajagba, who is a rising heavyweight star in his own right, you saw he was able to neutralize Ajagba. A lot of people criticized Ajagba in that fight. Good right hand by Raiss. But Joe Goosen, he was unable to really make any hay and punish Ajagba and win rounds.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, Raiss is actually, he's a very clever boxer. He's got great legs. He's got good vision, good reflexes. And he's going to make life difficult, see? And that's what I mean about him. He's a good fighter.
That's a nice long right hand by Johnny Raiss.
But the thing about Coffey is he's got that great power. And if he hits you clean, you're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, in his last fight, we saw that in the 3rd round. He threw an uppercut and was able to drop Darmani Rock, who was undefeated coming into that fight, 17-0. And then with a hook, he was able to finish him off in round 3. And that was an undefeated heavyweight who had a lot more experience than Michael Coffey.
Yeah, Coffey loves to take his time and kind of figure out his opponent, and that's what he's doing right now. He's using the first round to do that.
Watch the back
right
of the body. The body lands for Coffey. Again, a man who starts boxing seriously at the age of 30 has a lot of time to make up. And ordinarily, Lennox, you're just unable to do it. Even Deontay Wilder, who started late, started at the age of 19, not 30.
Right, and it's always difficult to start late. But, you know, Coffey was in the Army for, the Marines for a while. And he came out very disciplined, went straight to work.
Good crisp right hand again by Johnny Raiss.
Picked up a lot of his skills in training camp with Deontay.
Johnny Rice looks good here in this first round. We got about 50 seconds left. Coffee, by the way, Lennox, you mentioned it. He said his fellow Marines, the 2nd Combat Engineer Battalion, said when they learned that he was fighting professionally, they said, well, that makes sense. So I guess he got a little fighting in with the Marines, too.
Yeah, Johnny Rice threw a good overhand right, which Coffee rolled with. He needed to roll and come back, but that was great.
You're right. He got hip to it, didn't clip twice with it, and then he got his left hand up last time. He's going to have to put on pressure. Unlike a Jogbo when he fought Rice, he just kind of plodded at him, and Rice was able to box and move. He wasn't winning rounds, but let me just tell you something. He showed a great defense. Here he's showing both.
I'll tell you, Johnny Rice has landed, what, 2 or 3 signature shots? He may have taken round 1. So he comes out here, last-minute sub. But Johnny Rice, good outing here so far. How
you feel? He's just warming up, you know what I mean? You just warm up, you know what I mean? And don't give away anything. Do the step back and just find that snap and that jab, all right? And then, take away his right hand. You gotta take away that right hand. Don't let him, fall, get in his rhythm. Find yours. Take him off his game, all right? Work him.
Tonight's Corner Cam is sponsored by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need. Jose Aguilar there in the corner with Michael Coffee. But for a last-minute sub, and again, he took this fight on just a couple of days' notice. Johnny Rice with a nice first round. Lennox, what did you think?
Hey, let me tell you, Johnny Rice boxed from distance, and he's a little bit more warmed up. If you noticed, he came in, he was sweating, but he wasn't wearing no rope, so he was warmed up in the dressing room. So that's an advantage going into the first round because you're warmed up better than your opponent. Your opponent is warming up, and that's Coffee. So let's see if he's warmed up in that first round and see what he can do in the second round.
Michael Coffee coming out in the southpaw stance already and lands with a straight left hand, straight up the middle. Normally, Joe, correct me if I'm wrong, Michael Coffee's a little more active and animated. Well, so far, he's a little flat in this fight.
Well, listen, no, because he's in there with the round. He's fought on, all the continents, as they say. And he's got a lot of experience. You can tell he's a very savvy fighter, Johnny Rice, like that.
The counter right hand, yeah.
He's doing it. It's going to take some work for Coffee to track him down, put some pressure on him, and get close to him. Because right now, Rice is winning the game of distance.
Well, the idea, though, against Joey Abel and against Armani Rock was the same thing, where, all right, here's a little more experienced guy to face. How will he do? And Coffee was so impressive. I think a lot of us, I did anyway, expected Coffee to come here and just, show his class immediately. But immediately running into a lot of resistance in Johnny Rice.
And you see Rice kind of walking Coffee down, which is it's really a role reversal. And it's not what Rice does. He likes to box and move like he did against the Jogba, but he might be making a mistake.
That's a good left hand.
Walking to Coffee.
I know. It's amazing because a lot of guys will switch to southpaw and they don't have the same type of power, but Coffee has a very nice left power hand from behind.
Yeah, he throws his good left, but he's got to come back with that right hook if he's going to do that.
A minute to go here in round number 2, scheduled for 10. Right hand there by Johnny Rice.
That right hand was pretty much parried by Coffee. You got to remember, in a southpaw stance, it takes a little bit longer distance to get that right hand landed. I think that's why Coffee turned southpaw, because it's harder to catch you, because the shoulder is back now. Okay, you're not so close to the right hand.
Rice had quality sparring in Las Vegas. He was sparring in Bones Adams' gym. Again, Bones Adams, former world champion at 122 pounds, sparring with the guys like Michael Hunter. Said he even got a few rounds in with Tyson Fury before Fury's fight with Wilder was called off. So he's had quality. And there's a good hook by Johnny Rice. Now he tries to follow up. He said he didn't want to hold back. Here's his chance.
And that's true. He said in his last past fights, he's been holding back. In this fight, he didn't want to hold back.
That was a good right hand, Lennox. Rice again, just paws him there and just paws him with the hook, but it gives Coffee something to think about. And another hook by Johnny Rice. Johnny Rice coming up from Columbia, South Carolina on short notice, making his presence known in New Jersey. Just looking ahead to August 21st, the big pay-per-view in Las Vegas. Manny Pacquiao, legendary champion against Errol Spence Jr., welterweight champion of the world. Yordenis Ugas is on that card as well. That's Marcos Maidana's brother, Fabian Maidana. And we also get Robert Guerrero, the Ghost, against Victor Ortiz. They're back. about that? Pacquiao, Spence, August 21st on pay-per-view. And here we have heavyweights. And Michael Coffey, his work rate is down. He usually averages 44 punches per round. He's averaging 24 per round. Now, Joe, Lennox, I know that really is dictated by what your opponent is doing, but it's not like Johnny Rice is so busy in there, so formidable. He could throw his hands, but he's been a different guy tonight.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you got to go for it, and sometimes you got to go and say, let me beat up this guy. Let me just go in there and punch him out and forget about the boxing aspect and bring on the boxing aspect later. But that's what Coffey needs to do. He needs to step it up a little bit more and, you know, put Rice on the ropes. See how Rice reacts on the ropes.
1,000% correct. And I think Coffey got those instructions in his corner because when he came out of the chute real fast. And then, of course, again, Rice flipped it on him and backed him into the ropes and landed some good shots. So that was a very short-lived effort.
Right now, Rice is comfortable. He's comfortable in the middle of the ring. He's not being pressured. You know, he can use his reach and he can use his quickness. And there's no pressure on him whatsoever, so he can think and do what he wants.
Yeah, Michael Coffey said this week, look, I'm going to make the ring smaller on him. I need to add a little more variety to my offense. He thought that Rice was kind of a survivor. But Rice said, look, I'm tired of losing to these top guys. I'm in these fights, and he was in those fights against Ajagba and Dempsey McKean. But he has definitely learned something. He's had good sparring, and he just looks better here. That said, Michael Coffey has real power in both hands.
Let me tell you, he was landing right hands against Ajagba, too. But these right hands looked a lot more solid. I think he's in better shape for this fight. And look, he's actually looking for a knockout here. Every time he throws a punch, they're coming in hard and fast.
Yeah, I mean, he's putting his body behind that right hand.
Yeah.
So even when he misses, his body's still coming forward.
To your point, Lennox, well, there's a wild left hand by Coffey, just missing, but Johnny Rice looks comfortable, to your point, Lennox. He is calm in there, and he's not exerting so much energy and losing energy or steam in this fight. Because he's going to have to be in it for the long haul. These are 10 long rounds.
That's right. We're not even at the halfway point yet. And let me tell you, Coffey can crack. All he needs is one or two.
Wow, interesting fight so far. Johnny Rice picking up his game. Again, said, hey, I don't wish COVID on anybody, but in the back of my mind, I was an alternate for this fight. And when I heard Gerald Washington was out, they called me. He said, hey, I have to be ready. And I'm going to be ready and take this opportunity. And here he is in the main event. And he's fighting well.
Yeah, let me tell you, what Coffey's not doing is shuffling. He needs to shuffle forward to gain his distance and put Rice against the ropes. He's not doing that right now.
He's normally on his toes, Lennox.
Yeah.
I mean, normally he's a nimble, big guy. He keeps saying that, but he's flat-footed tonight. You're right.
He's very flat-footed. I'm very surprised at Coffey being flat-footed, but I think that may be the left-hand style.
5 seconds, gentlemen.
Final seconds. Johnny Rice fighting very well. Main event, Michael Coffey, Johnny Rice. And so far, it has been not all Johnny Rice, but Lennox, mostly Johnny Rice.
Yeah, Johnny Rice has been throwing that long overhand reach, right hand, and it caught. As you can see, he reached him and got him with a overhand right. So Coffey has to really keep his hands up, especially after he throws a combination, because Rice is there to answer the punches.
And guys, this is what I love about boxing. It's a meritocracy. There's a guy that's supposed to win, but the other guy has a story and a life too. Just like James Martin against Vito Milnicki, you get out there and you earn it, well, you can get something. And Johnny Rice comes up from Colombia. Nobody's cheering for him, but he looks good in the ring. You can control that, Joe Goosen, and he looks sharp here where he wasn't supposed to have a chance.
And I got to give credit where credit's due, too. He's also with the former champion, Bones Adams, who's doing a great job. He's got his own gym in Vegas. I've been to it. It's a sweat box, and it's for real guys, and he's there working. So there's a good tandem, and there's a good team going over there in that corner.
And Joe, if he's sparring with Tyson Fury, even a few rounds, he didn't make a lot of that, but also Michael Hunter. Good shots there by Rice, and Coffey looks hurt. Well, he's getting excellent sparring, and now he's just laying the wood to Coffey. How about this?
Coffey did a good thing there by rolling with the punches. Yeah. He has to roll with the punches. That means he's not catching the punches 100%.
Good warning there as he got wild.
Coffey is a very strong-minded guy, too, as well physically.
Work your hands.
Two-tour veteran Marine. Yeah. He didn't get through that because he doesn't have a big heart.
No, he's a strong guy mentally and physically. There's no question. He's resilient. Good body shot there by Coffey. However, you can get outboxed, and I have to say he looks a little flatter tonight than when we've seen him previously.
Yeah, and, you know, it's a good mention because he needs to punch to the body instead of headhunting all the time. Rice has a body there, and he could slow him down because this is a 10-round fight. This is how you have to be in a fight. You got to break a guy down. First you break his body down, then the head will fall.
Slapping right hand there by Michael Coffey in the black trunks. Let's go to Marcos Villegas. Marcos, it seems like Johnny Rice is winning these rounds, is he?
Yeah, he is. I have this fight 30-27 at this point. Michael Coffey's not working. He's loading up on his punches, hoping that one of these shots will get through. Meanwhile, Rice is racking up points, landing clean, effective punches to the head in the scoring zone. So I got him up, even though I got to add that last round was a really close round. So you could see maybe Coffey winning that round 3 on one of the judges' scorecards.
Marcos, thank you very much. I always like Marcos' sensibility on those things. And again, if we put that in yellow, that means it's a close round. A judge could reasonably have it either way. Big right hand by Rice, although you're right, Coffey does sort of roll his head back and roll with those shots. But it could be, again, it could easily be 3 rounds to 0, Johnny Rice. How about that? Right hand again, Coffey tried to close the gap. Again, these guys are the same size. This is 6'5", 270 versus 6'5", 270, and Johnny Rice looks like he is in shape.
Yeah, I mean, Coffey's receiving these punches when he shouldn't. He really should keep his hands up or roll with the punches and come back.
Well, the fact is he's getting hit with them, but on the other hand, it's very discouraging for the guy that's throwing these big bombs and not putting the guy down on his back.
5 seconds, gentlemen.
You know, he's saying, what was it going to take to hurt this guy?
There's a long way to go here in Newark.
Yeah.
And there is Johnny Rice here in Newark, New Jersey, and he has looked good so far through 4 rounds here in the main event.
Here's something that's been happening tonight. Good right hands and left hooks landed by Rice. And looks to follow up with the uppercut and lands it.
And here you see Rice leading with the right hand, catching Coffey straight in the face. Coffey didn't see that. He looked at it all the way and didn't block it.
Johnny Rice firing back there. He took a good body shot. Coffey is, Lennox, to your point I think you made in the previous round, in round 4, Coffey is making the investment to the body, outlanding Johnny Rice to the body so far in this fight.
See, but yeah, I will tell you something. Rice walked back to his corner like it was a little winded. That's a good right hand. But
another one. And a look. And then a right hand again by Johnny Rice.
Johnny Rice is teeing off on Coffey right now with 3 right hands in a row. Coffey needs to open up or put that left hand up and stop that.
Coffey's going to keep trying to come back. I don't count this guy out. He's taken everything Rice has thrown. Rice is getting a little winded. I saw him walk back to the corner, tired. And look, Coffey's got to keep some pressure on, though. He can't sit on the outside and wait for that.
And the right hand again and a hook. Good combinations. But to your point, Joe, you see the mouth is open from Johnny Rice. But, of course, he's moving his hands, too. Throwing that big sledgehammer right hand.
Of course, Coffey landed a good counter left hook after those 3-4 punches that Rice threw. And let me tell you, it's discouraging to hit guys with these type of shots and have a guy keep coming at you.
That's a good jab right hand, though, on Coffey on the way in. Coffey was starting just to walk him down, and Johnny Rice said, no, you're going to pay for that.
You're right.
Yeah, but when he's doing that, he's using up a lot of energy. Is Rice going to have the energy going down the line?
There's a little swelling there on the left eye, under the left eye of Michael Coffey, and another right hand landed by Johnny Rice, and he follows up with a hook. That eye is starting to close up. I mean, it's a long way to go, but he is starting to do damage to Coffey's face.
Coffey, I don't know if he can lift up that hand or what, but he just shouldn't get these right hand punches.
Look at those combinations.
It's like he can't see the right hand coming.
I tell you, right now, Johnny Rice looks like Buster Douglas. I mean, right now, he's just like throwing these 3-punch combinations. You're saying, where's that coming from? A right hand by Johnny Rice. Wow, and he's asked by the referee, are you all right? Another right hand hurts Coffey. Coffey getting shot down. Now he's hurt. Coffey is hurt. It's over. Wow. It's over. Johnny Rice pulls off the upset. Eric Daly didn't like what he saw with the eye. Coffey turned away for a moment, and Johnny Rice with the night of his life.
Great performance by Rice. Coffey tried his best. He took a horrible, hellacious beating. He was unable to come back and do what you know, you want to
Joe, he just looked flat. I don't look. It's a combination. He looked flat, and Rice looked terrific. I think both things can be true.
Let me tell you, Rice was hitting him with that right hand. After a couple right hands, you got to block it or realize you're doing something wrong. But he didn't block it. He kept on receiving those right hands. So that told me he couldn't even see it.
There's Bones Adams in the corner. Joe, I'm with you. I've seen Bones Adams do great things with fighters.
Right.
And I tell you what, that's a signature win right there. Johnny Rice, late notice, couple of days notice.
Yeah.
From not being on the card to the main event and winning.
Incredible.
Early in the round, I mentioned the eyes started to close, but then that right hand not doing Michael Coffey any favors. And this is a tough Marine, able to take the punishment, but Johnny Rice kept bringing it, and he's 270, Lennox, 270.
Yeah, there's 270 behind those punches, and I'm telling you, he threw a lot of right hands, and after a while, you keep tapping on a rock, that rock's gonna break.
Eric Dolly did a great job, that referee stopping it right there. That was the end of the line for him.
A stunner.